have a sister, Anne, 2 years older than me. Anne is and always has been my mom's favourite. Growing up, my mom got Anne everything she wanted. New clothes, toys, electronics, her own bedroom, in a one-bedroom apartment. I slept on the floor in the living room with Mom, etc. We were poor, so sometimes my mom would borrow money, take out loans, hustle or play her luck gambling to get her what she wanted. But if I were to ask for anything, I always got hit with the, "Next time we don't have the money." I was also denied specific experiences that my sister got to have. For example, I wasn't allowed to date, go to friends' houses or walk to the store alone. My mom rationalized this by saying that she treated us differently because of our personalities, with my sister being the diva and me being the quiet one. I've come to accept that she loves us differently and have moved on with my life. I now have a son of my own, and my sister has 2 kids as well. For Christmas, we all plan to meet at my mom's house. My mom has also enlisted me to help with preparation, so I've been taking her to the store, setting up decorations, etc. I was helping her put the final touches on the tree recently and arranging the gifts, when I noticed that Anne's kids had many more gifts than my son. Specifically, Anne's kids had about 12 gifts apiece while my son had 3. I commented on it, and she said that since my son is small, he's a preschooler, he'll outgrow everything fast, both clothes and toys, so she didn't get him much. I let it go, but it still bothered me. My sister's kids are a pre-tween and a young grammar schooler, which means they'll grow fast too, making her excuse a bit lame. I asked her about it again, and she admitted that it was because Anne's kids are special. She said they were her heart and soul. I felt hurt, but I thought I was being too sensitive. I talked to my husband about it and he agreed it was hurtful and questioned whether we should go to my mom's for Christmas. I decided we wouldn't go and called my mom to tell her. She got mad and said I was childish and needed to get over it because all grandmothers have their picks when it comes to grandchildren. She said she still loves my son and thinks I'll be hurting him by not letting him see her on Christmas. She's told Anne about it and other people vaguely over Facebook, and Anne more or less said it's our problem and she's going to enjoy Christmas either way. Am I the idiot for not going to my mom's house for Christmas? Oh my God, absolutely not the idiot. Your mother and your sister are cruel. Hold on to your husband and your son for dear life and run away from these evil people. Your son doesn't need a constant reminder that he's not Grandma's favourite and Grandma likes the other grandkids more. Protect your family and give them the love you never got from your mother. As the grandkid who had to watch my grandmother favour my 2 cousins, it hurts. As a child, when you're treated this way, you have no idea why, which makes it hurt even more. It wasn't until I grew up that I realised that not only were my brother and I treated differently, but my dad, who financially supported her, was also treated differently. I made the decision to go no contact and never regretted it. The very fact that OP was the one helping prep her mom's Christmas, while her mom favours her sister and her kids, tells you everything you need to know about who will be expected to care for her mom when she's old. No contact starting now is the best way to dodge that bullet. By the way, sister will swan in and count the gifts when the work's done. Leave before the dishes get washed too, I assume. Of course Anne will enjoy it. She'll be even more the centre of attention and it's easier to complain about when you aren't there. Mom is only mad because she needs OP to serve and clean up dinner. OP shouldn't go. Let her sister wash the dishes for once. No, wait. Mom will have to do it. Enjoy your totally mom-free life. She treated you like a second-class citizen for your whole life. It's time for her to know what that felt like. My husband, 41, and I, 38 female, have 2 children. Our daughter Rachel, teen, and our son Tim, young teen. Forever I've been begging my husband to do more around the house, but he continues to be a lazy man-child. He does the bare minimum when I force him and that's it. Our son is learning from him and not doing his chores, not cleaning up his messes, and expecting his sister to cater to him. Hubby is enabling him and secretly overrules me when I punish Tim. We had more than one argument because of their laziness. Yesterday I was shopping with Rachel and we met a friend from work and her boyfriend. So I called my husband and asked him and Tim to clean the house ASAP because I'll be bringing guests. The house was a mess when we arrived home nearly 2 hours later. I never felt so embarrassed in my life. My friend smiled and downplayed it as normal, but I could see the look she exchanged with her boyfriend. We chatted for 20 minutes after I cleaned the living room a bit and then they left. I finally had enough. I told both hubby and Tim to get the heck out of my house and not come back until they learn to respect me and be helpful around the house. We had a bad argument, and in the end they gave up and left. My son has called me since from the motel where he and hubby are staying and begged me to let him back in. I told him he could ask me again next year and I might consider it. They're banned for Christmas. Family will gather in my house this year and New Year's Eve. Tim will then return. Hubby, I'm not sure yet. My mom and sister are against this. They think I'm way too harsh, especially to Tim, but I think he needs a serious wake-up call and this will be it. And I don't give a damn about hubby at this point. Am I the idiot? You kicked them out before Christmas? You kicked out your child through the holidays for being messy because you were embarrassed in front of your co-worker? Yeah, you are the idiot. Honestly, if it had been me, no matter how justified you felt or actually were, your next conversation with me would be to tell you to sign the papers. LOL at the lazy slob who wrote, "You are the idiot." LMAO, oh no. Imagine being a lazy, deadweight slob and thinking saying you'll divorce a didn't throw your son out on the street by himself, he went with his father. If Tim doesn't like living in a pigsty, I guess he needs to learn to pitch in and help. The sad fact is, Tim also needs to learn that he doesn't get to sit around while the women in his life cater to him. Good on OP, your spouse is teaching your children all the wrong things. It's time to let your daughter and son know that marriage is a partnership and no one gets to sit it out, no matter what their gender. I'm a single guy with a pretty decent job. I hope to have a family someday, but for right now I'm just dating and saving money. For the last few years, I've used my Christmas bonus to buy my parents, siblings and siblings cool Christmas gifts. I'm lucky enough to be earning much more than I need, and I have an excellent nest egg going for when I'm ready. My parents and my siblings aren't there. My folks were immigrants, and while they own their own home and, as far as I know, are debt-free, they don't have a huge retirement account. My older brother and sister each decided independently to start their families while they were quite young, in my opinion. So anyway, like I said, I've been blowing my bonus on all of them for the last while. I paid for my parents to visit their home country. I bought both of my siblings' families a PS5 when they were hard to get. My nephew studied university this fall. I got him a new laptop as a graduation and Christmas present last Christmas. I don't resent spending this money. I love my family, and I don't expect them to reciprocate. I already buy myself whatever I want. However, I noticed something this year. It was my 30th birthday and no one did anything for me. So I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to go to Asia for New Year's. She's a student, so I'm paying for everything. We're seeing our families for Christmas and leaving on Boxing Day. I got to my parents yesterday afternoon and put my gifts for everyone under the tree. I got everyone a $50 gift card for the movies. There are 12 of them, so that's still $600. My sister-in-law decided to sneak a peek at her gift. She thought I was snubbing her, so she told everyone that I got her a crap gift. Huge fight. I just left and went back to my hotel. Calls and texts non-stop. I was greedy, immature, callous and many other things. I just blocked them. I can spend the next few days as a tourist in my hometown and then leave. I told my girlfriend what happened with my family and she has my back. I think they're acting entitled and taking me for granted. I don't think that they're idiots, but I don't think that I am either. Not the idiot. They have some nerve calling you greedy when that's exactly what they are. They're absolutely taking you for granted. They didn't have to spend money on you, but not to arrange a nice birthday dinner at someone's home or something when you do so much for them is bonkers. Disrespectful and entitled. I mean, they didn't even call you or get you a card for your 30th birthday. Good for you. $600 for family gifts in spite of this is pretty damn nice. I think you actually went above and beyond in doing that much. This will always be the problem with some people. You give them terrific gifts and then they expect it as their due. You're young and should be able to use your money for your enjoyment. Next year, $25 gift certificates for anyone who complained. Hand make a gift for sister-in-law. Enjoy your trip. I hope that your family comes around. I'm going to play devil's advocate a bit, though. Everyone's the idiot. You sound like a great guy, but does your family know that your change of heart comes from their lack of effort to acknowledge your birthday? If you haven't explicitly told them, then you should. They can't read your mind. You have to communicate better. I, 24 female, recently moved to the city in which most of my paternal families live. I grew up in another city and went to college on a different coast. I wasn't close with them, spending only 6 Christmases with them growing up. I visited everyone in person once when I moved, so they knew I was living in the same city. I'm a pretty good cook and baker, so when I was invited to a potluck family party at my grandparents', I brought a chicken stew which received a lot of praise. One of my aunts asked if I also baked, and I said yes, showing them a few pics of my baked goods. My cousin Lisa, 30 female, then invited me to her little girl gathering, telling me it was a drink and dessert party and that the theme was chocolate. I made a beautiful white chocolate cake for the party. It wasn't big, as Lisa told me there would be 10 people attending, but because it was small I could make it a little fancy with silver and white winter decorations. Everyone exclaimed how beautiful the cake was, and when Lisa put it on the table it stood out as the rest was different shades of chocolate brown. My cake was praised. The food and drink were delicious. I hung out with my cousin and met Lisa's friends and her husband's family. I thought everyone was nice. Later, Lisa called me, not exactly complaining, but telling me next time I should have kept to the party's theme. I told her I did, as white chocolate is chocolate. Lisa said that her husband, sister and a couple of nieces thought it was inappropriate for me to bring a dish that stood out so much, completely ignoring the party theme. They felt all everyone talked about was my cake. They asked Lisa to tell me to tone it down or don't invite them or me to the same party because they can't stand someone so attention-seeking. Personally, I don't think I did anything wrong, but this is a group of 3 people thinking the same thing, so am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She should have said that if Lisa wanted a chocolate party where everything was brown. If she wanted a chocolate party without white chocolate, she should have said that. Absent other instructions, you honoured the theme. I'm sensing that Lisa is just jealous of your baking and cooking skills. FYI for the future, and I'm sure you know this, but white chocolate contains no cocoa, cacao solids, and sometimes not even cocoa butter, so it's debatable whether it's chocolate at all. Also, many people who like chocolate explicitly do not like white chocolate. I suspect even if you'd asked Lisa her opinion on white chocolate, she would have still found a reason to be unhappy. I completely agree that she would have found a reason to be unhappy regardless. This sounds like a witch-eating crackers complaint by Lisa and co. Ignore and stop letting them have your delicious cakes in the future. She wasn't upset the cake was white. She was upset the cake was better than hers. Lisa is jealous, plain and simple. I guarantee no one said those things to her. No one. She's lying to you because everyone loved your beautiful cake. I love that you did something different. I've been with my husband Adam for 12 years in total. We have 3 young children, and for the last 3 Christmases, Adam's family has come from different states to spend Christmas at my house. Originally, his parents hosted Christmas, but due to having babies, etc., we didn't want to fly. Everyone has been happy with this arrangement, meaning 5 of his family members stay here for 5 days over Christmas. This includes his brother Matthew and his other brother and sister-in-law. Matthew is a good kid even though he is 26 now and is very much the youngest child. When he was younger, he was a bit of a wild child, partying, etc. The family was happy when he seemed to get into a serious relationship with Alice last year. I have no issues with Alice. I invited everyone to Christmas in June. I didn't invite Alice. I assumed she would be seeing her family. I got a message a couple of weeks ago from my mother-in-law about Christmas, and she mentioned Alice wanting to make a dish. I replied back stating I didn't know Alice was coming and she wasn't invited. This caused a load of text messages and phone calls. I eventually left this till Adam was around to deal with it. Adam thinks Alice should come. However, there's no room in the house. Matthew usually sleeps in the office and this would not fix a double bed. In addition, while I like Alice, I don't want people who may not know my children in 10 years here on Christmas Day. Adam and I have majorly fallen out about it, so he went back and said there was no room in the house but Matthew and Alice were welcome to get an Airbnb or hotel and come round on Christmas Day. At this point, Matthew just said he wasn't coming if they weren't welcome. This has caused my mother-in-law to state that she might just host a small Christmas at home. Adam's other brother and sister-in-law are clearly debating this option. Adam now wants to go back to Matthew and say it's no issue if they sleep in the snug. Again, I don't like this setup as my kids use that room as a living room and playroom and it's their Christmas. Adam and I argued this morning and he went out hours ago and has just texted to say he will be back this evening. He needs to cool off and I need to consider how selfish I'm being. So, am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You're making a huge deal out of something that should be a non-issue. Couldn't you suck it up for the holiday to keep the peace and be inclusive? Holidays are about togetherness. If they're okay with sleeping in the office together, God bless them. Why do you care about your kids spending a holiday with someone who may not be there in 10 years? That's a ridiculous notion. You're being unkind, selfish, and exclusive. If I were Matthew and Alice, I wouldn't be comfortable coming to your house at this point. Can't blame the rest of the family for making other arrangements. Totally agree, and the whole may not be around in 10 years is crap. I mean, has OP never heard of divorce? The other brother's wife could be out of the picture next year. Holidays are inclusive. Alice has been around for a year. Better get used to the fact that the younger partying brother has settled down and has a significant other, not a one-night stand. OP, you have no one to blame for the ruined Christmas but yourself. Maybe it will just be your nuclear family this year if everyone goes to mother-in-law's. And don't be surprised if your husband also goes. Talk about blowing up a family for no reason. You once were the girlfriend too, and how do you think you get welcomed into the family if no one was willing to make space for you? It's also kind of gross to point out brother-in-law was a wild child when he was 26 and has had the same girlfriend for a year. Literally nothing weird or wild about a 25-year-old dude being single and dating through 25. Your husband should leave Scrooge at home and take the kids to his mother's with the rest of the family. Good grief, there's nothing like creating completely unnecessary drama around the holidays.